Scientology is notorious for identifying, tracking down, and harassing anyone who criticizes them online. One of the main ways they do this is by tracking IP addresses. This is exactly what they did to me back in 2010. Protect yourself from David Miscavige and his goons with the sponsor of today's video, Atlas VPN. Atlas VPN is a virtual private network that sends all of your internet traffic through a protected, encrypted tunnel. It protects you from spying, Wi-Fi intrusions, and most importantly, David Miscavige's goons. With a single Atlas VPN subscription, you can protect unlimited devices. Right now, Atlas VPN is running a huge discount. You can get a 3-year subscription for just $1.99 a month, plus a 30-day money-back guarantee. This is a limited time offer, so get your deal by clicking the link in the description down below. People ask me how they can support the channel. One of the ways to do that is by supporting our sponsors. So thank you to all of you. Thank you to Atlas VPN. And once again, get your deal now by clicking the link in the description down below. Now let's talk about Scientology organizations closing down, closing their doors, which is supposed to be unheard of in Scientology. And yet on last night's live stream, I heard from someone in Munich, Germany, who said that Scientology's Celebrity Center Munich has closed down. Technically, it has merged with the nearest by Scientology, or just the regular Scientology organization in Munich. See, Scientology has what they call their class 5 organizations. This is your normal Scientology organization. This is where most people join Scientology. By the way, class 5 just refers to the bottom half of Scientology's bridge to total freedom, the non-confidential part of Scientology's bridge, the part where you don't yet learn about Xenu, the galactic overlord, and the body Thetan story. So anyway, Scientology has its class 5 organizations, and it has a special kind of class 5 organization called a celebrity center. I think in the Scientology world, when you hear celebrity center, you think of the big one in Los Angeles, in Hollywood. It gets a lot of press because of the fact that Scientology's biggest celebrities tend to do their Scientology services there. But there's actually a network of celebrity centers all over the world. In the United States, I can think of, I know there's one in Portland, there's one in Nashville, there's one in Las Vegas, but overseas, I believe there's one in Paris, there's one in Dusseldorf, Germany. I'm less familiar with all of the overseas locations, but I'm going to say maybe there's like a dozen of them. Now, it is supposed to be one of the most major violations of Scientology policy to close down a Scientology organization. After all, Scientology is supposed to be expanding all over the world. And David Miscavige tells Scientologists that Scientology is expanding exponentially year after year after year. And yet, let me show you this comment that I got in the live stream. This is what it says at the end. P.S. A couple of weeks ago, CC Munich, Germany got integrated into the local org in Munich. I don't know. It might seem like that's not a major thing. Maybe it's just a matter of efficiency, consolidating staffs, consolidating premises, keeping the bills down. This is actually a really big deal. A really big deal. Scientology orgs are never supposed to close. CC Munich is an org that has been there for decades and decades. And for these organizations to be combined, that is an indicator that there are so few public Scientologists doing Scientology at both the Munich Org and the CC Munich Org that Scientology could just no longer justify operating 2 separate staffs. So one thing I'd like to do, any of you guys out there near Munich, Germany, please do me a favor. Look up the address of CC Munich and the normal Scientology org in Munich. And if you would, go by and take some photos. Send me some photographic evidence that this org has actually been closed down. I would love to show that to all the viewers. I would love for all the Scientologists who secretly watch this channel to actually see visual evidence. A Scientology org has been closed. And for maybe you under the radar Scientologists in Germany, please contact me confidentially. Let me know. What is the explanation that all of you are being given for why this is a correct or standard thing to do? How is closing an org, how is closing CC Munich and merging it with the Munich org, how does that align with command intention? How does that align with the idea that Scientology is expanding exponentially? How is this something that's supposed to forward the aims of Scientology? And please remember, I don't give a damn about forwarding the aims of Scientology, but I do give a damn about helping people understand how thought and behavior and belief is controlled and manipulated in cults like Scientology. It can be very hard for people to wrap their minds around how such a thing is so possible and how it seems so easy if they themselves have never been involved or associated with any such groups. And yet in Scientology, this is exactly what happens. L. Ron Hubbard laid down policies that gave absolutely no question about what the right way to manage Scientology was, according to L. Ron Hubbard. And David Miscavige, there's many examples I could give you where he's done literally the exact opposite of what L. Ron Hubbard said he was supposed to do, but managed to convince Scientologists that he was doing exactly what L. Ron Hubbard really wanted. And again, as a former Scientologist, I don't give a damn whether David Miscavige is on source or off source, or whether Scientology is expanding or contracting. Really, it makes no difference to me. But it does make a difference to people who are still inside the bubble, who are still inside the cult of Scientology. So any little pieces of information I can use to make it very obvious to them how they're being manipulated and controlled, that's an opportunity I would like to take. And some more evidence that I want to show you guys. These are some photos that were taken just this weekend in St. Petersburg, Florida, just a stone's throw away from Clearwater, Florida, and Tampa, Florida. And this is the Scientology organization in St. Petersburg. Now, it's really an extension of the Class 5 organization in Tampa, Florida. So what I'm showing you here, this is the Dianetics and Scientology Life Improvement Center. Again, the main Scientology organization is located in Tampa, Florida, the Class 5 organization. Of course, there's a huge organization in Clearwater, Florida, but that's a Class 12 organization, and you can't join Scientology there. But you can join Scientology at the Class 5 Tampa organization. And again, this Life Improvement Center is just an extension of the Tampa organization. But check out what we've got here. This place is completely closed, abandoned, shut down. It's getting run down. You can see the exterior of the building looks absolutely horrible. It is literally closed for business, posted no trespassing signs. There's some permit here. The notice on this window is over 3 years old. Absolutely unbelievable. One of the remarkable things about this, because somebody could just say, oh, you know, it's a little outpost of an organization in St. Pete. Maybe it just wasn't doing very well. They couldn't justify keeping it open. Well, and sure, that's one argument. But the thing is, realize the one thing about this being an outpost of an organization and not being an actual organization unto itself, it only takes like one person to keep that place operational. You don't need a whole staff to keep this test center, to keep the doors open. All you need is someone to sit at reception, and that person could maybe stand outside on the sidewalk and hand out flyers. And if anybody managed to want to actually come on in, they could administer a personality test. You only need like 1, 2, 3 staff members max to keep the doors open on this place. And also, it's worth noting the fact that this is an extension of the Tampa org, and the fact that the Tampa org is the closest org to the Class 12 organization in Clearwater known as FLAG. This is actually very relevant to this conversation, because many of the Scientologists in the world might not even know. The Tampa organization, Miscavige rearranged things so that the Tampa org no longer reports to the Continental Management Office in New York, the Continental Scientology Management Unit in New York, called the CLO, or the Continental Liaison Office. Tampa org no longer reports to the CLO East US. Tampa org reports directly to the FLAG land base. FLAG is the management unit for the Tampa org. And the reason that's important is because that means the performance of the Tampa org and anything relating to it, which includes the St. Pete Test Center, is a direct reflection of the competence of the management unit at FLAG. And so all you Scientologists in the world who are donating thousands, tens of thousands, millions, tens of millions of dollars in the belief that you're helping Scientology expand, all of you need to be asking the question, if you're giving so much money to help Scientology expand, and if David Miscavige keeps telling you at all the events that Scientology is expanding exponentially, highest ever, then how in the world can the St. Pete Test Center have shuttered its doors? And by appearances, it looks like these doors may have been shuttered for years. How do you guys reconcile these facts in your minds? Don't you see you are being lied to and deceived and manipulated at every turn by management and David Miscavige? And at this point, management is David Miscavige, because David Miscavige has destroyed and taken apart and disassembled the entire international management apparatus. Did you guys, you Scientologists out there, did you now know that middle management is now who manages Scientology? There is no international management. David Miscavige directly runs middle management, and middle management runs everybody. That's why you don't see Guillaume Lasserre. That's why you don't see Mark Yeager. That's why you don't see Ray Midoff. This is what's happening behind the scenes. And you Scientologists out there that are still propping Scientology up with your financial donations, I just wish you would open your eyes a little bit and start to connect the dots. Because if you're being lied to about the stuff that you can actually see with your own eyes, you can be sure you're being lied to about the stuff that you can't see with your own eyes. All right, everybody, that's all I got for right now. Much more to come later today and later this week. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. Thanks to everyone who watches until the very end, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right here. Bye.